Yesterday we were at the original Jamestown Settlement site, historic Jamestown. Today we are the Jamestown recreation of what it would have looked like originally if the buildings were still standing. So today we're at the Jamestown Settlement. The shell? What is it? I think Dad wants to try. No? Paisley, did you get it through? Powhatan Entertainment. And you missed? All right. Those shells, what do you do with them? Huh? No. Oh, is that how they skin the animals?
Get all the hair off the skin.
So this is the kind of stuff the Powhatan Indian children did. What do you think, girls?
But the Powhatan, you know, not unlike some of the other bows we use today, it's being shot off the hand, not so much off of a notch, not off of the way we tend to think of our bows today, not like a compound bow. But the Powhatanos themselves would typically be either made of wood or river cane. And so when they, the idea is that you're going to have that piece of a sinew or rawhide there. That way you pull the string back, off the hand, and let it fly. Of course, depending on your arrows, you can also use the arrows for different things. There's some arrows for fishing, some arrows for hunting, some just for warfare. Some could be used interchangeably as well. Different size arrows can be made for different size game. I've seen some points as small as my pinky, if not smaller, for small game. While some can be as big as my thumb, if not bigger, for larger game. But typically made of stone or bone points. Sometimes though, wooden sharpened points could be used for really small game as well. Just so that way there's not as much damage done to the flesh, meaning there's more to eat out off of the meat when you're done.
So you're looking at probably Shakespeare eating something like this sometime during the month. Because beef is very expensive. Oh yeah, back then. But you can alter the recipe, and instead of beef, you can put in pork, you can put in chicken. I've had both. I like the beef myself, yeah. But you don't have any substitute. That's what we make today.
Is I might have to work with something 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches to 3/8 inch. Huge difference. I need to be able to control my own heat. A nailer very often has an animal running a set of bellows or a water wheel. So you're using water power or animal power. And that way you just have to stick the rod in, wait a bit, pull it out, sharpen it to a point, shoulder it, cut it, head it, put it back. Okay. For me, I have to go through a lot of moving around, shifting, and just not got the proper tools for it.
So they had a setup for one specific task as opposed to...
Yeah.
Okay.
And the governor's house behind you required 5,000 nails. And unfortunately, we don't have nailers anymore. So our master blacksmith made all of those.
Wow.
And that took him 5 months. Something that would take a nailer 2.5 days.
Wow.
That's why we're specifying labels. And a good example of exactly how specified things are is swords. A sword cutler is assembling sword pieces and selling that sword. But those pieces are made by a bladesmith, pommel maker, guard maker, handle maker.
Okay.
Now you might, let's say you're a gentleman. You want something a bit higher quality than just a plain wooden handle. You want to put wire and then shark skin on top of that wire. There's 2 more trades.
Wow.
That blade coming from a bladesmith has to go through a grinder and polisher before it can be finished up and sent to a sword cutler.
Is this the church? What were you saying? What looked uncomfortable? The seats? The pew? Well, you're not supposed to get comfortable in church. You're supposed to be uncomfortable. If you get too comfortable, what happens, Dad? Fall asleep. We can still see you. Abby, you gonna do a sermon for us today? What's your sermon on for the day? How to not fall asleep in church. All right. What are we preaching on? How hot it is in hell? Whew, it feels like that out here today. How about the church bells up there? They ring them when it's time for church or on the hour? Do you know the answer to this question? Do you know the answer to this question?
On the hour.
I don't know the answer to this question.
Your paramedic. You can think of this as being a 17th century first aid kit. I'm sure you have some morbid curiosity as to what some of these objects are for. What would you like to know about? That one, all right. So if you get a patient who, let's say a heavy crate landed on them and it crushed their arm. The bones in their arm are just shattered to pieces. There's just no way they can save it. And rot is already starting to spread around the body, or spread up the arm, I should say. So you're going to use this banding and wrap that tightly around the top of the arm. You use this knife to cut through skin. You use another knife to cut through muscles and sever the tendons. and then a saw is used to cut through the bone.
All right.
Amputation. It is a last resort, but sometimes necessary.
What do they use to numb the pain?
Closest thing they have at this time is laudanum. Laudanum is a drink made of opium. It'll put you in a state where you don't feel or care or that kind of thing. So if you can keep a patient stable for, say, 10, 15 minutes, laudanum will definitely take the edge off. It's just that when you have an emergency and you can't wait, you're just going to have to get started. So they have something for pain, it's just not fast acting.
Wow.
It's punching through armor of the circuit. You find it about Agincourt 1415 at about 20, 30 yards total, with any kind of oomph to do real damage to the man. So you have these optimistic ideas that have gotten into movies and novels and video games, and it's sort of a general perception out there among folks who don't practice archery. But folks who do practice archery typically know that, 50 yards, that's about right. Well, if I've got a musket that's accurate within 100 yards, and I can load 3 times a minute, how is the rifle going to be that much of an improvement if it takes me a minute to load the rifle once? So that's the key. Now, later on in the 18th century, about the middle of the 18th century, 1750s, one particular native group, the Shawanese, the Shawnee people, my area of Ohio, seemed to have preferred rifles when they could get them. And they were taking on men coming up out of Western Virginia who were sometimes referred to as long hunters. They were also frequently armed, not always, but frequently armed with rifles, and that made them why the Shawnee like that. Because, again, you had the accuracy to put you on a level playing field. You know, if that long knife sees you crouching next to a rock 300 yards away, brings up his rifle and shoots you, well, then your brother warrior, seeing that long knife rise up and fire, with your brother warrior with his rifle.
Welcome on board this Susan Constant. You're a hands-on ship. Feel free to try stuff out. Steer the ship back down, touch the nets down below. Be very careful. Ladders keep overhead as well. There's 2 in the back. Yes.
How you doing?
Back there, 3, 4,
The breeze feels good.
It's closed. Is that a bed? Is that where the captain would have slept?
Ferry, so it runs at night as well. We'll just go down to 1. Hi folks, coming on board the Susan Constant. We are a hands-on ship, so that means you are welcome to try the beds, you can steer the ship back aft, you can touch the guns down below. You do have a special request, okay? You can put your little sign that goes on that escape. Do that for me? Alright. This ladder.
Did you want to go try out one of those beds? Do you want to go to the front and do like this? Show her, Dad.